Oh.
James, can we go to sleep now?
One.
Let's take a look at our map ban. Let's see where we're going to be going to. I know, very sad. You know, Stein's dog is cute, but James is just a big floofy, and I love that. Clubhouse is the map we're gonna go to. I wish I had a couple cats, but let's not talk about that. Clubhouse is our signer map, and unfortunately, we're out of time here to discuss things. But that is all on to our casters. Clubhouse, our final map of this evening. All yours, casters. Scarz, Xavier.
Oh boys, yes. We do love ourselves a map when it comes down to the strategy. It comes down to the team play. When it's more than just frags, things get nice and spicy. And I know that excites you a lot as a coach yourself, or former coach yourself in this case. We've dragged you over to the dark side. Now you're on the casting side of things. Ready for this?
I am so excited, and the reason I'm so excited is it's Clubhouse. I mean, oh my goodness, the reason that Clubhouse really stands out to me between these two teams specifically is last time we saw Scarz go on Clubhouse, it was against Electrify. Okay, it wasn't the best game in the world, but they were very attacker-sided. Xavier, on the other hand, when they've played Clubhouse twice, they're very defender-sided. Now, Xavier will start on attack, so if they do well on their attack, I absolutely give it the second half, think Xavier will win. But if they do bad on their attack, it's very likely they'll do good on their defense given their history. So this is a spicy matchup.
A spicy matchup, and ultimately it's the kind of thing that you'd go to an arena to watch, like two brutes fight it out against each other, right? These two teams are currently 1 and 3. They are at the bottom of the table. It is a real lower tier scrap right now, but either team might find themselves able to climb if they can win this game and put themselves on 2 and 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other teams currently sat with a 2 and 3 record. Need much more be said. They are right in the thick of things and might even find themselves jumping as high as halfway up the table. That's a lot just for one victory. Let's see how this plays out though. Operator bans is underway, Jess, or are underway, I suppose I should say. The Monty and the Thatcher, the first two to be taken away.
Well, given the history of Xavier, we would expect a Maestro to go out here, and they're taking their sweet time to decide, or maybe someone's alt-tab, you know, having a little drink, something to eat. It's common with players to just chill out during the ban phase, have a little bit of a chat, and that's what they've done. And they'll get rid of the Maestro, so that's pretty typical here for Xavier. Don't expect anything different from them, and if we look over to the side of Scarz, I mean, we might expect them to ban a Valkyrie here, so a Wamai instead. That's a nice little adaptation.
I was expecting maybe to see a Kai come through given the Thatcher was taken away, but no, we are seeing the Wamai plague spreading around now because we've seen more and more teams beginning to ban him away. It started out just as BDS, it seemed like. Then yesterday in Europe, we saw it jump across to another team, and now today, here it is in APAC. It's a really interesting ban because a lot of teams are getting very... I don't know if reliant is the right word, but comfortable being sat behind a Wamai and a Jaeger, being able to deal with all the projectiles that come out. It forces the attackers to play a certain way. And although it maybe isn't the first jump you think of when you see that there's a Wamai ban come in, it should afford more flexibility to the attackers in general. Maybe not so much here on Clubhouse, because you do tend to see the same 4 or 5 operators bought pretty much all the time. Some teams opt towards the triple hard breach like we're seeing here, some do not. Clearly, in the case of Xavier, though, they want to make sure the things they want open most definitely get open, and they're going to make sure all 3 hard breaches are on side.
I'm having a little bit of a giggle here to myself because Scarz bans Wamai. Fair enough, no problems. I absolutely agree with that ban. I mean, Echo's auto ban, so why not? They're doing an SSG roam. Love it. I think it's a great setup, and anyone who disagrees with me, well, you got to go back and watch the whole purpose of why SSG is known for this particular setup. But what strikes me even further is that they didn't even bring a Jaeger. Which, okay, with this particular setup, that's okay, I totally get. But if they do a blue rush or a dirt rush, I mean, this could go really hairy for Scarz very quickly, and we've seen Xavier do rushes before.
To be fair, most teams that argue on this site often don't go towards bringing a Jaeger. You'll always see this kind of lineup of 4 that you've got here, where you have the Vigil, the Mutant Mozzie, and the Castle. That only gives you 1 free spot, and a lot of teams will go for some kind of rush prevention. So things like a Capcan, that's a Fnatic special, or a Legion in this instance here. So I understand why, I get where you're coming from, but I think most teams will often try and swerve away from it, because I guess the intent is we're holding off site. For the most part, if someone's firing grenades at us, we are going to be out of there in 3 seconds or less. A couple of shots coming into DCH, almost finding himself going down. That would not have been a pretty case to be losing the Habana this early on.
Yeah, I love that. It's starting off strong. I don't know, ranked is nothing to compare to competitive play whatsoever, but I always say to my teammates, we should start off really dominant. Show them that we mean business. Start off with a spawn peak, you know what I mean? Win or lose, the team will be scared in the future rounds anyway. So that's how 11 started this one off. And I was very impressed with Scarz last game against Fnatic. If you're not aware of what happened there, and good proximity alarm, actually, that gave away his position very quickly. If you're not aware of it, they were able to beat out over Fnatic. And we spoke about this. How do you counter an SSG roam on Clubhouse? Go blue, go dirt. This is what they're doing. And all of that rush denial is surely telling Scarz to rotate back to side. Surely.
I mean, yeah, but DCH is injured on the upstairs right now. They have, however, managed to find one for themselves through dirt, but Demic is there to strike back like a Viper and turn it back over to his side. Technically a 4 versus 4, although very soon could become a 4 versus 3 unless they can recover DCH. The thing is, though, as you would come to expect, a Vigil is in a brilliant spot inside of the bar here to be able to try and aggress onto anyone trying to get DCH back up. Should be able to save him here, I don't think, so he should be rescued here by Scatman. Saying that, the impact nade comes through. Does he push round? Doesn't look to the left. There'll be Scatman getting a free kill there out of a bit of over-aggression coming out of 11.
Well, things will start to kick off indeed. Demix decide to move up dirt. Can he win out against the Zofia rifle? Surely not. The rush into blue here means Canos will miss and they can get the plant off. Can Demix stop this? He's the only one who with a line of sight and C4 to do so. But surely someone's holding this. They are. And it's all up to the Mozzie. And he just can't do it. And this is what I meant, is I was hoping Scarz could rotate back to side quicker, because surely the call came out. There was a proximity alarm. There was a goo mine. There was multiple shots peppering from both blue and dirt. That's when you turn around and go, boys, get back to side.
They did kind of make the call, I think, because you saw Mute come dropping down quite early on, actually, back into Church, going down through Moto Hatch. But the problem is, I think you alluded to it there, once you've lost dirt control and you don't hold on to blue, it's not really safe to just go running gung-ho into Church, looking to try and contest those that are starting to push in towards your sites, because once you've got blue control, you tend to make it impossible for the defenders to play inside of Church, assuming, of course, you've got the right angles set up. Really good first round coming out of Xavier there, very decisive in what they wanted to do, even with DCH going down inside of stock upstairs.
Well, I'm glad they adapted to that really well. That's something that I've noticed Xavier do really well, is we've seen them be the only real team in APAC North that when they come up against something they're not sure how to deal with, they'll just go with a rush, for example. And I'm loving the kind of versatility and their ability to adapt very quickly. I'm not sure who the IGL is there for Xavier, or whether or not it's a shot caller, but obviously the communication is quite strong between the players for them to be able to turn around and deal with problems like this very quickly. So Scarz, they won't try it again. They'll move upstairs to CCTV, and many a times, I mean, CCTV has been guys like DCH's playground on Xavier, so we'll see whether or not we've got a couple of players in Scarz who can make it their own.
Their own is one way about it, but I'm looking immediately towards this kind of stall tactics coming out here on at the side of Scarz. I mentioned that Kaid earlier on and how I thought we might see it banned away, given the fact that there is a Thatcher removed from the table. Here it's going to be Yas bringing it out, mind you, and I imagine electrification down onto the 2 construction walls and also out towards the kennels wall or CCTV wall is going to be the other point of focus. And then the question comes in for the attackers is, what are they going to do to deal with that? They can get underneath if they want to, take control of Lounge and blow it out from below, but that can put you at great risk. You might find yourself being killed from somewhere like Garage, up red stairs, or deeper into Lounge out towards the main lobby. So lots to be aware of here for the attackers, or they could circumvent the whole thing and say, you know what, a Maverick trick sounds perfectly fine by me, and that looks to be the game plan for Red Sun.
There is so much going on. This is like a 4-pronged attack here from Xavier. I love this. There's one dealing with the garage wall. There's one dealing with, you know, the platform wall. There's an Ash underneath giving the vertical control as well over onto Cash. If you're defenders, you have no idea where to look now. This is a really strong, fast, swift, and confident attack here from Xavier.
Was a nice thing to see as well, because we showed in that last game early, we did see a very quick attack coming in between Fav and Guts, but in some cases just missing the crucial details in some stages. They were missing out on where certain members were, they were missing out on crucial operators with C4s in some instances. But here for Xavier, I guess the nice thing about Club is that you can spend a lot of time outside, and that's exactly where a lot of their focus has gone to so far. They've got this East Breach open, and normally teams would look around to take attention here in towards construction, but DCH goes, you know what, construction, it sounds real boring to me. How about we just blow the heads off from inside of the hatch? Yas is going to rotate up and trade one back, and it puts us into a 4 versus 4 with 75 seconds to go.
DCH will have to deal with this rotate. He's read into it beautifully. He knows the ass won't come back up blue. Oh, this is a free kill if I've ever seen one. Great flank hold, but Demic will get a smoke kill onto Napu. Now it's a 3v3. A whole minute left. Good shot onto the head of Red Sun. Ooh, good night. But can the trade happen? Scatman is the guy to do it. He's got platform control. The vertical control isn't necessarily the best, and they're going to be very aware of it. And I believe Revy still has a C4 in hand as well, and so does 11. This is very bad for Xavier now.
Very bad. Sounds like you're telling someone off for saying things like that, Jess. Here it's all about trying to deal with the players. You did. There you go. Please don't tell me off. One up on Catwalk is going to be the kind of main point of contest for them, but he's already been removed by Scatman. So, Garage is clear. There's 2 playing up towards Cash and 1 playing in towards Red. Surely at this point in time, the attackers know where they're setting up here, trying to push in. A great flash comes through, sees the head as well, but doesn't get taken down. They're in a spot to go for a default here, but have got to worry about that C4 coming out of the Valkyrie. The shot's land, but it's DCH with a flurry of Cash in the air. Gets a head kill. Is it Cash money in this round, though? Because he's still got to find this final kill. Demic's on the rotate. He's downstairs, coming back up Red. Can he stop this one in time? It's going to stick all the way through and go down. Now it comes down to a 1 versus 1 post plan. Shotgun in hand. Can he do it for the boys? No, he's gone back out the hatch. Can't quite catch him. And this is going to be such a tough situation for Demic to be able to clutch out.
I just left that silent for full effect. There was no need to play-by-play that, because everyone, viewers and casters alike, were holding their breath for that shot. Was he able to get the distance? Damn straight he did. And ladies and gentlemen, the shotgun only works if you believe in it. And I think Demic believed in it.
Instill faith in the I don't want to say the gun of death. It's like the instrument of death in your hands, because gun sounds a bit too calm. Instrument of death, shotgun. We've already seen Ysera today getting a 1 versus 4 with that shotgun. One more needs to be said. It's 1-on-1. Scarz have at least managed to pull something back there, although maybe you feel like perhaps they shouldn't have had that. Even in the 2 versus 2, it was very clear that Xavier had the advantage, finding that kill in towards the Valkyrie, who was playing inside of Cash. As mentioned at the time, she was the one with the C4 in the back pocket. It stayed in that back pocket as her body fell to the floor, mind you, and it all comes down to a big clutch at the end. To tell you what, today, we shall decree as the day of clutches in APAC. It has been one of those days, I think, Jess.
Well, in my previous cast, I was able to see, I think, more than 3 double C4s, or it was at least 3. And I thought to myself, no way, no caster, no talent ever gets to spot that many double C4s in one game. So I was very blessed there, but we come into Clubhouse now, and I'm being blessed with some good clutches here. I was worried they didn't go for the plant last round. I mean, I know it's hard. You can't cover garage window. You can't cover cash door as one person. I get it. But at least try and bait. At least try and get one person to peek and get the kill, rather than the planter themselves moving up with the diffuser and focusing only on the kills. It seemed very disjointed, so I'm not sure if that was a communication issue or what, but we'll move over to gym and bedroom, and looks like Revy wants to set up for a cash hold, and seems pretty meta for me at the moment.
Yep. Extended holds kind of are the name of the game, it feels, on construction more often than not. And even on the fact here they've got a mirror with them, that could make things a little bit tougher if they choose to commit them there. We've seen some teams sticking both of their mirror windows out towards the bathroom side of things, looking into jacuzzi wall. Some teams opt to bring it instead and place it inside of construction, looking down through there. I think we all recall that incredible round from last week, G2 versus BDS, when there was indeed a mirror window inside of construction, but Shaco says, nay, I don't care about no windows, and strolled his way through and found 3 kills in a incredible round that eventually won the game for BDS 7 and 5. Here today, though, mirror windows not quite in the same place. 1 inside a CCTV and 1 out towards bathroom.
Oh, I was very disappointed to hear all 3 X-Kairos go off there. That was super unnecessary. And they also had a mirrored window to deal with on the cash wall. And had he have kept 1 X-Kairos in pocket, I understand there's a mute jammer there, and you can deal with that below very quickly. Really upset that, unfortunately, Xavier's used all of their X-Kairos. Now they won't be able to dispatch that mirror on cash.
Teacher angry. Why use X-Kairos?
Learn how to be good with your utility.
Did he? What? I'm kind of surprised that wasn't pulled sooner. These C4s normally get detonated as they fly through the air rather than when they've been sat on the ground for a couple of seconds, but that was the case. Now it's Demic's turn to be on the ground for a few seconds. Napu puts him into the dirt. And now they've managed to get Jacuzzi wall open. They are in a spot to start their advance. You've even got Napier here sat inside a secret stash. So they are slowly starting to box Yas in here. The big question is, how long can he hold on for? Right move there to back away at the perfect second. Will still mean that the mute jammer disappears, but he's in a spot now where at least he is alive. Same can't be said for Canos, mind you. It's a 5 versus 2. Xavier are in full control. It's a 5 versus 1. Jess, I think we all know how these rounds tend to go. Sometimes it's flawless, but either way, it's the team with 5 left alive that tend to take the win, and it's Xavier that come out with a flawless round.
I was a little bit confused there because I think that all came back off the back of Napu. All he had done was drone logistics hatch. He realized that no one was paying attention to his drop. He dropped, took the first kill. He did end up dying, but I think the entire push came off the back of him throughout that round. So good adaptation and going, I know I'm meant to stay on this hatch until we're ready, but I can see an opening. I'm going to take it, and this will allow my team to enter a little bit more smoothly.
It's provided good cover, and I agree with you. If he died there, it would have been 8. Why on earth are you pushing so far by yourself, you idiot? So it's a two-sided coin, right? Or a two-sided, whatever you want to call it. What's the word I'm looking for here? A double-edged sword? I've already used that one today.
I don't know what the
I've
other
already
one
used
is.
that one today. I need to get in a thesaurus and go and bury my head for a few hours, maybe. But yeah, it was one of those plays that if it paid off, it's huge. You are the hero. If it doesn't pull off, everyone's like, why the hell have you done that? Hey, it works out for them, right? Xavier are 2 rounds up, or a round up, 2-1 so far against Scarz. We're going to dive back downstairs. This is where we saw Xavier had success back in round number 1, I believe. And it was pretty decisive, dare I say, playing into this kind of mute setup on the top floor. I don't want to call it a full-on SSG roam because we're seeing a pulse coming out here as it changed to bring in the Mozzie, and I'm curious to see where Canos opts to play.
Well, we said that both of these teams statistically are favored on the opposite sides, and when they do end up switching, Xavier going to defense and Scarz going to attack, that's when we'll really see the clash of titans, because Xavier is favored on defense and Scarz is more favored on attack, so whether or not that will play into them. But again, SSG roam here, I love this confidence from Scarz, but I am a little bit worried that Xavier just going to do this same thing they did last time and just go blue and dirt again. I mean, it's one of the best counters.
That's no doubt going to be another point of attack for them in the same way blue was in the last round. It worked so well because, as we pointed out back in round number 1, they did the kind of divide and conquer. They took control of blue, they took control of dirt, and the defenders were left kind of stuck because those that were playing upstairs and trying to drop back inside of Moto couldn't safely push their way back through church to support. You had a couple kind of instead working their way up past pipes, down 90, down the long corridor to try and get back on site. But even then, you had a couple of members, I believe it was Scatman, sat behind box 1 inside of Armory, just saying, I dare you, I double dare you to push that angle, because we all know how this ends. Oh, I clicked on your head. So I'd like to see Scarz a bit more prepared this time around, maybe playing those a little more aggressively. I already like this start coming out of the Legion here of Yas, is looking to play a bit more troublesome here and slow down the attackers on their way in. Grenade comes out, but Yas, he's too big brain for this one, Jess. He's 200 IQ. He's backed away to make sure he doesn't get himself picked off.
Well, that's what you need to do, and he's actually moved on up. The drone will spot him out again. There should still be one more grenade, but gunshots are favored here. He'll catch him, but not quick enough. And Yas did a really good job of delaying almost an entire half a round here. This is very important, but no one's holding blue. No one's holding the feet holes. This is very bad. Onigiri yet again has blue control. The pulse will spot out the players zooming into dirt, and a proximity alarm will give away one position, but this is all up to the pulse almost, all on their lonesome box 3 in the hands of the attackers. C4's missing, but Yas will kick things off.
Trade back the other way, though, straight into a 4 versus 4, and we've still got so much time left on the clock, and clearly Scatman is waiting for his dinner, because Xavier wasting no more time here. 65 seconds left in the round. The plant is going down. It's all down to the last player upstairs, Demic here to make it happen, and DCH goes, you know what, I've heard that my dinner's almost ready as well. A very quick round coming out for Xavier there, and no man is slowing them down. The SSG roam is meant to be set up to be able to waste a lot of time here to force teams to invest utility around the map. As it stands so far, Xavier have completely ignored that, and if we do see the defenders go back downstairs again, I'd like to see them try a more conventional turtle defense and actually play on site.
You cannot keep repeating the same mistake over and over again. They've got to understand that the SSG roam is being read like a book. Xavier know exactly how to counter it. Okay, it's not the most flawless adaptation that Xavier have. It can be countered quite easily, especially with the smoke and dirt, or some barbed wire, stall them out even longer, but it is working, so they have to accept it's not working. They'll go to CCTV this round, and That's a good counter there to just give up the bottom floor. It's not been working out for them thus far. And, well, we'll see whether the top floor works out for them in the same fashion. Scarz have been able to net 1 round, but Xavier looking very convincing here on their attack. Well, we'll see how that goes for both of the teams now that we're entering the last little bits of the first half. It's always a good showing into teams if you can win a few defensive rounds in your first half, but Xavier, they're not giving Scarz anything.
I mean, why would you? What I do like is that in a couple of rounds now, we've seen Napier sort of flex between a few operators. It's been Sledge, we've seen him on the Nomad in the last round. This round, it's coming down to being on the Finker. He's the guy who's been said, look, we're going to have a miserable game. We're locked into playing on these 4 set operators. Napier, today is your turn to have fun. Play what you choose. And he's like, I'm playing Finker. And they're like, really? And he's like, well, you can't fault me. I'm hitting shots, right? And I think for most of the team, that's arguably the case. These big executes they're going for. I was half joking there, by the way. But I think in terms of the Finker, they've been hitting so many shots. Why not give yourself that small advantage going in for these gunfights again to really drive the nail home and say to Scarz, there are no more rounds for you to win. I like that it's showing they've got a bit of aggression about them. They're not worried about flanks coming out of the side of Scarz, but also arguably the side choice has something to say about that too.
And the reason I said right so confidently is because what you don't know is that some players have that exact conversation mid-game. I know it seems ridiculous, and you know, a lot of people don't believe me. They go, no, surely they follow the strat, everything. No, I have listened to enough teams, I've worked with enough teams to know that players turn around and they go, I'm feeling it, boys, let me take this. I just want to hit shots, so let me take this. And everyone goes, yeah, no problems, do your thing. Looks like they'll use the Sophia to assist. What is that? Is that a... That's just a shield there. I thought there was something blocking the drone hole. That's why they were so focused on getting that drone hole. But there's no ADSs there. Shield will go down, but that is 1 grenade used to be able to dispatch of that. And they were hoping to use the Zofia instead, but I want to keep some of his utility for more long-range things. Not that there's any evil eyes given the ban, so we'll see what they end up using that for.
Small bit of detail there with Scatman like just blind spraying through the Maverick hole as it got opened up in case there was someone trying to be quite cheeky and laying down on the kind of direct opposite of the side of the Maverick in case they were looking to spray him in the head as he was opening up that wall. So a small little detail there, but just making sure the Maverick didn't face the same fate that we saw Mission facing in round number 1. So in round number 1, in week number 1, back over in EU, where every single time he was on this wall, there was a C4 or a bullet headed his way. So good team cover. Not quite the same coming through on the other side of things, mind you. DCH finding himself 1. Napier's been shut down, so we're going to see that thing could disappear.
A well-timed smoke because it did look like the attackers wanted to push in now that they have garage control. Unfortunately, they don't have bottom garage control with Yas zooming on in, and DCH is down on the stairs, and I believe that was the Valkyrie to down him from the long angle holo, and flashes will rain in. They'll start the defuse surely, but he'll have to get off of it because the smoke is choking him out. He'll have to go into the corner to start the plant, but instead they're holding angles. Revy will throw a C4, and that connects with the electrified wall, so that won't go anywhere. Revy will, surely he can peek around, surely he can stop it, yes he will! And he's not even going to pop the shield. Demi could pop the shield. He could play time on this, but he's only 20 HP. He's just going to peek and said he has no idea someone's peeking bullet holes there. And good night.
Sweet Prince. I agree. I mean, there's a shield waiting right there. It's got a volcanic pack attached at the back. What you need to do is get sprayed a couple of times and you'll no doubt see them going down. It was definitely a ballsy moment from the Valkyrie to peek directly around the corner, having no idea who could have been watching what angles there to shut you down. But DCH sadly rotated at the wrong second to go and watch red instead of watching the doorway coming out of cash, and did make that spray down all but possible. Xavier, though, sit at 4-1. Their attacks are lightning. They are on fire. And what was it you said back at the start? Scarz are good at the attack and Xavier are good at the defense, right?
Right.
So are we seeing a good old switcheroo here, the Uno reverse card being played in APAC?
I'm very worried for Scarz because they do so well on attack, and given they're a defensive-sided team, and this is just statistically, they could absolutely change things around. Scarz could pull something out of the bag here, but going into the second half, I think Xavier are just going to clean sweep the rest of these rounds. If they win this next attack, they'll only need 2 more rounds, and I fear for Scarz heavily.
One thing is, I almost feel like it's cruel to write Scarz off, because let's not forget all the way back in week number 1, when they were up against Electrifier, we all wrote Electrifier off after 4 rounds and said, you know what, 4 rounds to 0, Electrifier found a single kill, and I believe that kill went to Flash. There's no way they can win this now. This game is done. They then come back and win the whole thing 7-5. It is unbelievable how fast momentum can turn in a game like this. So I don't want to write Scarz off yet. I'll give them a round or two once they're on the attacking side of things to see how they can set things up, because they looked pretty good on it previously. We already said earlier on, against Electrified, their attacks have been phenomenal. So we'll give them a chance, shall we?
Absolutely. And when they were able to, I think it was Xavier took out, was it 8-6 against Fnatic? I think that was when I was really convinced that maybe Xavier feeling quite confident on this map, and they had quite a few defensive wins on that particular matchup, so that's what really impressed me. But, of course, Scarz have shown that they too can take Fnatic head on, so both of these teams able to squash the Giants, and not the Giants actually, the Giants of Fnatic, because there's a team called Giants as well. We need to be careful about that.
No one has squashed them on Clubhouse yet.
Right.
Absolutely no one. The one thing I will say for Xavier against Fnatic was Fnatic on their attacks were very one-dimensional. They often came at them just from kitchen, for example, or push their way down main stairs. It was very binary, and there wasn't really much to worry about. They're there or they're not. Didn't have to worry about other things. So it's down to Scarz to give a multifaceted challenge, shall I say, where they're trying to make use of multiple angles to push in on the aggressive. That's what's going to really define the next half of this map for me. However, there is still 2 minutes left of this first half, so we'll talk more around that when it comes into it. At the minute, it looks like Xavier have got themselves inside a good spot. We are on the downstairs, and indeed, we have seen the change in setup coming out of Scarz, but it hasn't changed the pace of the round. Inside of blue, inside of dirt. This time around, it's Revy to strike first. Coaches are the best, Jess. I'm sure you'll agree.
Well, yeah, it shows that he's not washed up. Not yet.
Not like
Jess. Able to get that. Not like me, now that I've been thrown, back on... I'm going to pretend you didn't say that, but that's okay. That's okay. My playing days were years and years ago.
Don't bite my kneecaps, Christ.
Yeah, double jab, don't we love it? And Scatman will get 11, and that's a good man count. He saw the free fire, that's great from Onigiri. The smoke will push him back, and Revy's going to get yet another head kill here. He's been absolutely integral for the armory hold, but Buck, he's not sure where to look. He has no idea if someone's above, left, or right. Demic will get an SMG killed onto Onigiri, so that's blue control back into the hands of the defenders. And now it's going to be up to Napu and DCH. Can he get this shot? No, he won't. That's going to give away his position. And, there's a whole minute left here for the attackers, but they don't have a lot of options.
Oh boy, yeah, 2 versus 3. We've seen enough clutches today for my heart to not be excited at the prospect of what may yet come in these final 40 seconds or so. Looking towards the side of Scarz, so they have the right tools, I imagine. You got one potentially with the C4 in Canos. I'm not sure if he's already burnt that one out. We have a couple of smoke canisters and, of course, the Legion. We're into a 2 versus 2, and actually, no, all those gadgets are gone. So 30 seconds is all that stands here between victory for Scarz or potentially 2 kills coming back the other way for Xavier. We've got Canos trying to creep his way in, trying to find one. We'll find it around the side, misses the shots, but still manages to secure the kill. All the same, out comes the pistol and connects onto DCH. So Scarz, at the very least, will take 2 rounds out of this half. Maybe not the performance they were hoping for, but a performance nonetheless.
Canos has been one of those star players for Scarz. I mean, we've seen him do a lot of damage with the Jaeger, and seems he can do just as much on the Bandit as well. So good to see him being able to be a late round influence. We've seen him being an early round influence predominantly. Now he's being a late round one as well. So that's good. He's very versatile in his ability to be, very present there with the team. Unfortunate for DCH, we've seen some good things from him over the past few playdays on multiple roles. Unfortunately for him now, he's on the Kaid, so there's not a whole lot he can do. He needs to focus on stopping the hatches getting opened. He's not technically too much of the fragger, and conversely on the Hibana, he's the one trying to open them as well. So he knows exactly what he needs to do to counter a player like Hibana, a player like Thermite.
All right, looks like Xavier are going for a setup of their own of a similar sort of flavor. Maybe not quite directly an SSG roam, but at least going for the Intel denial aspects here with the Mute and the Mozzie on side. Otherwise, it's that Kai stepping in once again. It seems to be the go-to for this site, Jess. Whenever a Thatcher is banned away, it has to be picked up and used here by the vast majority of teams.
And I think the good thing about it is that Xavier are playing probably very turtley. And when I say turtley, a turtle setup is just when you stay on site, you want to try and hold for as long as possible, deny them from being able to open walls, use your C4s as deterrents, maybe over church wall to main stairs, etc., etc. So I'm hoping that for Xavier's sake, that they read into the mistakes that Scarz made on their defenses and are just going to turn around and not make those particular mistakes. I don't like that Valkyrie cam in the top of church, and the reason I say that is because if they want to throw a C4 over, they'll they'll likely break it, and a lot of people like to buck above, but there's no buck here to be played, so we'll see whether or not that Valkyrie cam even stays alive.
On this broadcast, Jess gets caught up on little details.
I'm sorry.
Jess gets triggered by little details, maybe. You expect nothing but perfection from your students, and the world is your class.
I just think at Tier 1, and I'm sure the players would respect me saying this, at Tier 1, you're allowed to criticize fundamentals. Just simple fundamentals. I'm not saying anything crazy, you know, that maybe you can't counter an SSG roam, which is quite complex. Yaz will kick off the roam here, and a live hot drone will zoom past him as well, so he'll need to be careful he's not the second victim. But you're right. I expect, you know, just fundamentals at least for Tier 1's teams, and that's what they've been showing for the most part.
I can't wait for the twit-long from someone later on calling you out. Time will tell. We'll see. It's a 5 versus 4 for Scarz anyway. Still a lot of time to go. And I like the small flex here over to the Jackal. It's not something you see all that much on Clubhouse, I'd wager. They're just trying to make sure that those that are playing on the roam are at least being identified and spotted out and chased down, hopefully to be killed. So far, it's led to Redstone going down, arguably not from the Jackal, but he is dead nonetheless. And you've still got Napier. Look exactly where he's playing here. Potentially a massive late round flank to come in here. Down Oil. That could be a massive spoiler for them if they take blue control.
Absolutely, but they've got less than half the round for their attack to go down. I did see it. I did catch it. The Electric Claw is still on the hatch in kitchen, and I'm not entirely sure which push they're aiming towards. They haven't gone for the kitchen hatch, and they only now just getting Revy to get the meeting hatch, so this is a lot of time that they've taken to be able to get top floor control. Okay, they were able to get one kill. This is called Adam Spot, ladies and gentlemen. This is just
Adam
called Adam.
Spot used to be on the other corner of the room back when it didn't have a staircase here, right?
Right. But now we just call it all Adam Spot. Any of those hidey holes. But he won't stay there anyway, so he'll walk away, and poor Revy taking his health on the Electric Claw there just to be able to get it open. But they've only got 35 seconds left. There's not a lot of time, and they're going up against 4 defenders, multiple C4s. This is a lot to ask.
It is inside such a short amount of time. And look at Napier here on a big flank, potentially late round to do quite a bit of damage from the upstairs, assuming he can get into the right spot. 11 is waiting though, and I think this is where Napier knows he has a sneaking suspicion that someone is waiting nearby, and he's all more than happy with this as well, because of course it might come down to an absolute execution in the dying seconds. Demit's going to find Onagiri. It looks like this one is definitely over for the side of Scarz. Not a lot of time left to play. He's going to have to go for a plant. DCH on a triple, but that plant will start going down for 11, who's all by himself. What more is there to come of it except for Napier to finish the full circle rotation of the map and find the closing kill?
That was wild from Napier, and the reason I'm pointing that out is not because of his ability to flank, not for his ability to avoid the flank watch. He had a drone, he went over and he spotted the Zofia, and he waited until the Zofia dropped to then flank. It was beautiful. Of course, if DCH had not have gotten that kill, then, I mean, things would have gone differently, but I love that. You got a Mozzie drone in your pocket. The intel you can gather is absolutely amazing. So really well done from the defenders there. And Scarz, they're going to be feeling the pinch now. They'll go up against a very confident and I think very able Xavier as they go on to gym bedroom, and they'll 6-pick to a mirror. Not a surprise. It's a good spot to place it in bathroom there.
We kind of accepted earlier on, and you raised it, right, that Xavier are a team that defend this map well. And there's nothing to doubt that in that last round. It did come down to a lot of flying kills at the bitter end of it. It just felt like Scarz were not the ones being able to connect shots at the right time. And my heart bleeds a little bit for these guys. From what I understand from speaking to their coach, they were due to go into a gaming house. Everything was lined up for them. They had a new player ready to join. And then the global situation we're in settles in. They can't go into the gaming house. The player that was going to join doesn't join. Revy comes out of coaching, which he hasn't played since June of last year. It's been almost a year.
Wow.
Has to step back in and start playing for them. It is rough. And to give him some fair credit, I don't think he's been doing all that bad. It was rough in the first game or two, but I think over time, actually, we've seen him playing roles like the Maestro, really settling into playing on these more intel-based roles, being able to do a bit of communication call-outs for the team inside the game. It does help having a coach on the field, but I think you'd rather have a player in that spot, right, and have the coach doing what they do best behind the scenes.
Absolutely, and we've been seeing a lot of teams do this Valkyrie trick where they'll just open up a little bit of the hatch and pop up a Valkyrie cam. Of course, most of them will try and yeet it all the way out onto the yellow bulldozer. But he'll just pop it up on the grill there, and this will give them a lot of intel on anyone playing on the roof, and I imagine it gets destroyed pretty quickly. It's a very obvious cam.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Yas is just going to right past it.
Obvious to everyone except for Yas is probably the way to look at it. But no, I think it's there more than anything else. You accept it is going to die at some point relatively soon. It's just there early on to help give you a bit of intel in terms of where they're pushing from, who's focusing where. If it features even the smallest bit of information like now, then it's definitely a start. So he has made some use out of it. I think they've still got rid of it. You know, I think it's still sat there. So that is a lot of information being passed back across the team.
So many drones for Scarz.
Yeah. I'm just so confused by the fact he can walk so freely up garage here and just shoot out those bandit factories that there isn't really much effort to defend. Although I suppose with the extended hold here, you don't want to commit too hard to CCTV.
There we go. He spotted
Only took a minute and 15
eventually.
seconds.
Oh, toxic.
Wow.
Wow.
Hello?
Des, toxic, never.
Just cheeky, I like to call it. Not toxic, not toxic. Cheeky.
Of course, love a little bit of cheeky banter, and well, they'll finally begin their assault over onto Cash, and it looks to be a 4-man push over that side. And oh, if you're in Cash, you're absolutely quaking in your boots. But look at that, they get away for free. No, Scarz, that is not how you do it. You need to be holding the rotate out so you get those kills. No one on construction window means dun, dun, no kills in the hands of Scarz.
Dropping rocks when you suddenly see that wall get blown open, like, oh my god, we're going to die here. And they somehow get away, as you say. That is the perfect example of how an extended hold should be played. They've wasted 2 minutes here, got away with their lives, and the attackers have even had to burn a bit of utility getting this side of the map open. So Xavier here, it only leaves us with about 45 seconds for Scarz, though, to go for an execute onto the site. And even now, there is still Napew downstairs trying to cause trouble. A bit aggressive, maybe, as Yas being on the outside of here, inside trash, is able to get that kill into stock. It's something, but there's still only 30 seconds left on the clock, Jess.
Well, Red Sun will kick things off for the kills onto Scarz, and finally connecting shots. Xavier are coming from everywhere. What is even happening? It's up to 11 in Canos now. They need this round, otherwise it goes to match point. Can they do it? No, they can't, and Red Sun will end that round on a triple kill. I think he was able to muster there, so well done from all of Xavier, but of course Red Sun putting the kills on the board. But wow, good defenses here from Xavier. Bad positioning from Scarz, which let Xavier be able to run around the map as they wanted and be able to hold key parts of the site that they needed.
It's like watching an animal toy with its food in some of these rounds for Xavier, because the start of the round start off slow.
God.
It's brutal, but I've got a reason behind saying this, right? I'm not just saying it for the sake of being a flamey little git. The actual reasoning behind it to me, in my mind, is the start of the round goes quite slow. They aren't really pushing aggressively. They're just saying to Xavier, saying to Scarz, come on, burn some time, try and force us out. It gets to about that 30-second mark in the round, and the countdown starts somewhere in that TeamSpeak channel or the Discord channel or whatever it is. And when that hits 0, bam, the execute comes through. 2 or 3 kills come out in the middle of nowhere for Xavier, and Scarz are completely shut down. They've done it now a couple of rounds in a row. It's really impressive to see because it shows quite a lot of coordination. They just know what the trigger point is for them in these defenses to go aggressive and shut down the side of Scarz.
Whew, I'm just recovering from that burn. That was
Wasn't
wild.
that bad. It was the start of an analogy. Come on.
Toying with their food.
In some of these rounds, yeah. It was like an animal toying with their food, yeah.
You are absolutely wild. I love you, Desert Chew.
That's wild. Jesus.
I'm allowed to love my brother. Brotherly love, no?
No, of course you are. I'm saying if
not
that's
allowed.
wild to you, then I've got some bad news for you when we end up in Paris.
Well, I'm going to count myself lucky that I'm stuck here in my office. But guess where Scarz are stuck? They're 4 rounds consecutive stuck. They need 4 rounds in a row. Now, I'm not saying Scarz can't do it. That is absolutely what I'm not saying.
That sounds like what you're saying to me, Jess.
I'm just saying Xavier will be trying their damnedest to stop that. And when Xavier try their damnedest, I mean, we see a scoreline like we're seeing now.
Yeah, it is a tall order, 4 rounds back-to-back, but I said it in the last match, I said it earlier on today as well. There are always opportunities for teams that somehow, somewhere, they must up the energy to swing things back round to their favour. It's looking difficult. Scarz yet to even find a single round in this half would give you reason to say, 4 rounds back-to-back, impossible. We have seen crazier here in APAC. This first round, though, 60 seconds in, no one is dead. What a surprise. It's nice and peaceful to begin with. Let's see if that kind of food-playing analogy really comes to light. We're seeing Revy focusing on getting this wall open, as you will come to expect. This Maverick tricking, as some take to calling it. They want to make sure it's in a good spot. And equally, they are contesting the window here while he's doing it. So for Scarz, there is some good team alignment going on here, making sure that he's not about to get killed by someone from inside of the garage window. However, it's going to be Canos swinging around and finding a kill onto Redson. Great reaction there coming out of him.
I have it's no understanding how Redson, he knew the Habana angle was open on the right wall. Why didn't he just keep laying down? He was prone for a very good reason. Why he needed to challenge the Maverick hole was beyond me. So he got the consequence he deserved in that particular scenario. But I mean, Xavier, just because they're one man down doesn't mean that they're out of the fight yet. Scarz will feel a little bit confident having taken one of the key players for Xavier out. And now they've just got over a minute left. A lot of utility still in their hands. And Devic's playing the IQ, so this will be really handy at spotting out the pulse below.
So shape up on the wall here from the IQ, who has got up on top and will make sure no one is trying to push too aggressively into garage. And Yas is there to swing round and catch the flank coming out of Napier. Tried to make an aggressive play into garage and was cut off on the retreat. Good from Scarz so far to shut down the aggression coming out of Xavier, which you might argue is coming out a little bit early in this round. They're down to a 3 versus 5. A couple of C4s still on side, I do believe. So let's keep an eye on where they are playing right now. One on red stairs, one inside of construction. Not looking to play from below. In fact, there is no C4 on DCH. Instead, has opted to bring barbed wire in this round. So you're looking at Scatman here to have a big impact as this play comes through if they want to close this out at 7-2.
Well, the execute will begin. Revy will start the play, but they haven't dispatched of the pulse. Surely he denies this. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Plant does not go down. It's all up to 11. Oh, Canos was downstairs?
I think he dropped, right? Yeah, there you go.
He dropped. He should have dealt with this before, but what a good recovery. I actually thought Xavier won that round when it ended. But without the kill in the dying seconds there from Canos, that would have been a Xavier round through and through. And whoo, by the skin of their teeth, Scarz are staying in this match, and they need 3 more rounds to bring it to overtime. But I wasn't that convinced that round, unfortunately.
It was a couple of throwaway kills at the start for Xavier as well. The Habana looking to contest when you... Sorry, not the Habana looking to contest, sorry. The player that was up on Catwalk looking to contest, the one that was playing inside a window, contested onto the Habana. One, never a good idea. The second one you saw come through then, instantly traded out as well. And it was like, okay, we're in a 5 versus 3 pretty quickly here. Xavier being a little bit over-eager to try and close things out, I think, in my mind, and it did come back to cost them dearly. We're going down to Church and Arsenal once more. That Mute and Mozzie is going to return, but once more, it doesn't look like an SSG roam. It looks more about a bit of a focus of playing on site, but just denying the intel coming through from the side of Scarz.
I don't think Xavier will do anything too different here on this particular hold. Looks like they might just stick with the one-man roam. They had an APU upstairs. He put a couple of his gadgets upstairs to try and deny the drones because they know that Scarz have been roam clearing from top down, so it's a pretty good read into the fact that he can collect a couple of drones himself. And just round to go, one of those drones were instrumental in being able to stop the plant. So really well done from Xavier. And there's no Thatcher on the board, so these mute jammers will play an integral part in keeping that church wall closed. But Xavier only need 1 more round. Free drone. Fine.
1. Yoink.
Yoink. You know, it's the Aussie accent. Got a drone.
Bullseye.
Bullseye.
Did you see that?
Did you see
the Jackie made that thingy for him? The video got the guy who does the voice acting for Mozzie. He got him to do a 2-minute happy birthday message for Ace the other day.
That's so cute. Happy birthday for the other day, Ace.
That was on Sunday, I want to say. Yeah, you need to go and watch the video. It's cool, man. He starts talking to, like, he's looking for Stumpy, who is a one-legged seagull. I don't know why he was looking for a one-legged seagull called Stumpy, but he was.
Well, as you guys know, that a lot of the voice actors and actresses for a lot of these characters are very invested in our scene as well. And the voice actor for Mozzie himself is also very invested, gone to a lot of the Rainbow Six ANZ events himself. So good on him. Shout out to him. I don't know his name. I think it's Max or something. Well, that's the character's name at least. So we'll see him pop up every now and again, and hopefully we get more voice lines from him. But this round has had 1 minute elapse, and no kills. This is reminiscent of almost every other round that we've seen. Yas gives a test swing to his sledgehammer before committing to the gym wall, and, well, things are a little bit quiet for now.
Look, if you ever watch a golfer play, you know that it takes a few alignment shots before you really go for the swing that counts, right? It's exactly what it's all about being a sledge player. Got to calibrate the old arms and make sure you connect it with the walls properly. Yas's bullets, though, are connecting with Napew's body all too well. Down he goes. It's a 5 versus 4 for Scarz. And once more, they do find themselves at a small advantage at the very start. Redson also not being far off going down, but he wins that gunfight a second later against Demic. It's a 4 versus 4. Make it another one as Yas strikes again. This time, Redson's gone down. That's 2 of those roamers dealt with on the other side. Who else can they find? It might have to be Scatman, who currently is playing on the ground floor. So they are trying to waste the time for Scarz to force them into making a last-second mistake, which can close the game out for Xavier.
Such strange positioning of all the defenders. I mean, the site's downstairs. All Scarz need to do is push almost directly onto it. They'd have no opposition, but DCH, no one expects him to be at the door of stock. That's ridiculous. And now Scarz are finding themselves in a back position here. Surely this flank or this roam will do damage and could trigger discipline. DCH as well comes out. It's all up to the coach of Scarz. It'll be Revy. He needs to win this round for his team to keep them in the match. Pre-fires come out. That's 1. He'll need to get 2 more. He's got the time to do it, but he can push side. Diffuser in hand as well, so he can also bait. But surely there's someone in armory to deal with him. He's got Barb in front of him as well. Super Onigiri right on the blue door. Who wins this? Not him, and that's a GG to Xavier. Another beautiful win on Clubhouse to add to their pocket there, their tally. Well done to both teams, however.
I really wanted to start a little chant there of Coach Clutch, Coach Clutch, Coach Clutch, but sadly for Revy. Exactly. Just not today, to be frank. I think Xavier came out very clearly the stronger team. With how things shaped up in the first and the second half, they were the dominant team. DCH, what a game from him as well. 14-4 at the end of the day. Really good play coming out of Xavier. This is what I think we expected to see coming into it. Maybe not quite the attacking prowess that we did see come out of them in the first half, but the defensive one looked exactly as we come to remember it. And Scarz, sadly, they stay as the ones scraping at the bottom of the barrel there. They're the ones that stay at the bottom of the table, but at least Xavier get to cast themselves back into that mid-table fight.
Well, we're going to toss it very quickly over to our analysts so you guys can get some Brazilian action. See you next Playday.
Thank you so much, Jess. Yes, we are